This week on the OnStage Blog Theatre Podcast, we are all excited about the new season of Broadway shows. We're talking about it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the OnStage Blog Theatre Podcast. And today we are going to be looking through the Broadway shows that are going to be starting this fall, giving a little preview. It's going to be really fun. We might even do some off-Broadway while we're at it. And I'm theater critic Rachel Wagner, and Jacqueline Collier's here.
Hello, Rachel. I am so excited to dive into our next season of Broadway shows and to try and get you out here for a New York trip so you can see some of them.
I am determined that I will make that I will do a Broadway trip this fall. It's a goal of mine, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, let's dive in. Let's do it. We're going to talk about all the ones that at least start their preview in the fall. So some of these don't officially open until January, but they're starting at least the previews that we'll talk about. So, all right. The first one is Paranormal Activity. This is at the August Wilson Theater. The preview's August 14th, so they already started, and it opens August 25th. This has Cher Alvarez, Travis A. Knight, Shannon Cochran, Andrea Sligowski, writer Levi Holloway, and director Felix Barrett. A new stage experience based on Paranormal Activity film series. The show has previously played Chicago and London. So, what are your thoughts about this?
Okay, so I did not like Paranormal Activity. It's not something I have interest in. However, Felix Barrett was the really visionary director of Sleep No More. I love immersive shows like this. So, I think that I'm intrigued by this, even though it's not my usual subject matter that I would be into. Plus, the illusions are by Tony Award winner Chris Fisher. He did Stranger Things, Foreshadow, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. So I think this is going to be really spectacular, but I think I'm going to have to get over the fact that I'm scared.
Yeah, but I have just been loving this horror revival, this horror movement that we've been seeing in theater the last little while. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Heathers. I love Batboy. I love, of course, Evil Dead the musical is so much fun. And so many's Misery I thought was brilliant. So I'm just really digging this whole movement. And this is an original story. So if you're expecting it to be based on the film, the play is an original story set in the paranormal universe that follows newly married couple James and Lou, who moved from Chicago to London for a fresh start. As their lives get turned upside down, they must work together to confront whatever is inside that house. So that, I think, sounds pretty fun. If you were going to give it an excitement rating 1 to 5, what would you give it?
Honestly, for excitement, I'm actually going to give it a 5 because also excitement and fear sit very close to me. And I think for a lot of people, like the going. So pure excitement level, I'm going to go with a 5.
Wow. So yeah, even though I was just saying how much I loved all this horror, I would probably give it a 3, but I am like maybe a 4, even a 4. But yeah, it sounds very unique and fun. And so hopefully it will be great. Okay. Then we have Schoolgirls or the African Mean Girls play. This is at Samuel J. Friedman Theater. The preview starts September 8th and opens September 28th. Writer Jocelyn Breau, director Whitney White. A new production of Jocelyn Breau's comedy about Guyanese schoolgirls competing in a beauty contest. The play originally played off-Broadway MCC Theater in 2017. So what are your thoughts about this?
So I love Whitney White. I think she's an incredible director. She did Liberation. This sounds so funny. Jasmine Amy Rogers, I mean, she's incredible. I saw her in Spelling Bee a couple months ago. I am so excited about this one. This one is on my list. I'm actually really disappointed I missed it in 2017. I wonder what the heck I was doing because MCC has such great stuff. This one for me is definitely a 5 of excitement. I cannot wait to see this one.
Yeah, I would also give it a 5. I think it looks great. Yeah, with great cast. So you can't go wrong with that one. Okay, so then we have The Imaginary Invalid. This is at the Todd Haynes Theater. It previews September 25th, opens October 22nd. First, Rachel Bloom and Bill Irwin are the most known actors. The writers Moliere and Bill Irwin did the adaptation. Director Brandon J. Dearden. A new adaptation of Moliere's classic comedy about a rich hypochondriac and the scheming people around him. And what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I have a wild, intense, almost obsessive crush on Bill Irwin. I do see him walking his dog sometimes. And one time I told him without breaking stride, just how much I love him and his work. And he was so nice. And I think he's amazing. I loved Old Hats. He was incredible in Uncle Vanya and the living room one, which was so amazing. He's just incredible. Imaginary Invalid isn't my favorite. Not gonna lie. One of my really dear friends did Imaginary Invalid Off-Broadway last year. He was great. The cast was great.
I don't know it at all.
It's great. It's Moliere. It's great. People love it. It's not really my bag. Yeah. But the fact that Bill Irwin did the adaptation, that is giving me, this would normally be a 1 or 2 for me to see this show, but it's a 4.5 because of the Bill Irwin of it all. And Rachel Bloom is delightful, but I love this man. I will be stage left.
And this is Rachel Bloom's Broadway debut, so that's exciting for her. And so I would give it a 2, but that I can see why it would intrigue for sure. Okay, so then we have Other Desert Cities, and this is at the Hudson Theater. This starts previews on September 29th, opens October 18th. It stars Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Ed Harris, Allison Janney. Crazy cast. Writers John Robin Bates and director John Benjamin Hickey. An all-star revival of John Robin Bates' award-winning play about a family whose secret is about to be exposed in a tell-all memoir. So what do you think?
So this won a bunch of Tony Awards when it was first out originally. And I remember watching the Tonys that year and hearing Other Desert Cities. But that was even before I was living in New York, way before that. I had never read it. And then I did not book, sadly, but I auditioned for the Lily Rabe's understudy in this. So because of that, I read the play and was also prepping the material and watching old clips. I really, really like this play. I think Lily Rabe is going to be fantastic. Allison Janney, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, what embarrassment of riches. This is definitely a 4.9 for me. Only lost, a point 0.1. Only lost 0.1 because they didn't cast me as her understudy. How about you?
Yeah, it sounds great. I would give this a 5. That cast would be incredible to see.
Yeah,
and it sounds like it was on the Pulitzer Prize short list. It sounds great. So yeah. All right. So then we have 860. This is at the Imperial Theater. This is a one-man show with Billy Crystal, director Scott Ellis. This starts previews October 1st and it opens October 21st. Billy Crystal returns to Broadway in an autobiographical solo show centered around the house his family lost in the Palisades fire. What do you think?
I'm normally not the biggest fan of one-person shows, no matter how incredible the person is. However, it's Billy Crystal. It sounds great. I'm going to give it a 4. I think anything he does, is just really interesting. He's incredibly charming. So I'm going to give this a 4.5. Not something I would normally be that intrigued with, but it's Billy Crystal.
So. He says in the press statement that the Schuberts released, it says, "I am thrilled to return to Broadway this fall with this challenging new show," said Billy Crystal. 860 was the address of the home we lost in the Palisades fire. We lived there for 46 years. I invite you to come inside 860 and I'll tell you all the funny and touching things that happened there, not only in my career, but to our family. It's a joyous, heartfelt visit and how, with the love of family and friends and your inner strength, you can get through tough times. I look forward to returning to Broadway and welcoming audiences to 860. So there we go. So I would give this a 3. I certainly would see it if I had the opportunity. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay, then we have A Few Good Men. This is a revival. It is at the Vivian Beaumont Theater. The preview is October 8th. It opens October 29th. It stars Bradley Whitford and Tom Blythe, writer Aaron Sorkin, and director Michael Arden. A revival of Aaron Sorkin's classic drama about corruption within the military. So what are your thoughts?
Aaron Sorkin, Bradley Whitford, I mean, say no more. I'm such a huge West Wing fan. Although military stories aren't necessarily the stories that intrigue me most, not because I love and support our military, but just as someone who really wants to see like lots of women on stage, and I'm interested in stories told by women for women, this does sound that it's so incredible. Like, it is an iconic story, and to see Bradley Whitford on stage, I think would be really amazing. And
this play was actually predated the movie, if people are wondering.
Did not know
Sorkin,
that.
Yeah, so it was the play by Aaron Sorkin, first produced in 1989, and then he adapted it 3 years later into a screenplay for the 1992 feature film.
I did not know that.
So, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's cool. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of It doesn't really excite me that much, but it sounds solid. I give it a 3.
Yeah. You're like, I'll give it.
I'd certainly see it if I had the opportunity. Okay, so then we have Wanted. This is the James Earl Jones Theater. This, as previous, October 15th. It opens November 8th. And this is writers Ross Baum and Angelica Cherry, who's the book and lyrics, Ross Baum music, director Stevie Walker Webb. A new musical inspired by the true story of Mary and Martha Clark, African-American twin sisters who take extraordinary measures to settle their mother's sharecropper debt and save her home. The musical played Signature Theater and Paper Mill Playhouse under the title Gun and Powder. So what are your thoughts?
Okay, so this is like kryptonite for me. Like, this is like, of course, I'm going to be like weak in the knees over this and want to see this. It's about twin sisters who were like, yes. This is, to me, a slam dunk. This is a 5. I am really excited about this. I don't really know anything about the music or the story, but like the synopsis of it is exactly the type of theater that I like to see. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. It sounds great. And I feel like it had a pretty good response at Paper Mill and other places it's been performed. I think it sounds very intriguing, and I look forward to it. So, yeah, I would give it a 5.
Yeah.
Okay, then next we have The Fantastics, which is first time on Broadway, even though it'll obviously still be a classic.
Yeah.
So that's exciting because it's always off-Broadway. This is at the Hayes Theater, and its preview is October 22nd, and it opens November 16th. Writers Tom Jones, book and lyrics, and Harvey Schmidt, music. Director Christopher Gattelli. The world's longest-running musical, revised as a gay love story, is aiming to make its Broadway premiere. What do you think?
I love that we're getting to see this. I think that's going to be great to have it be a gay love story at the center. Fantastics is just okay to me. And do I think that this is injecting some new fun life into it? Absolutely. But it's still just going to be like a 3 for me. Because I'm not... Fantastics is lovely, but it's not going to get me like super excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely intrigues me more than if it was just a revival of Fantastics, because I think that Fantastics is a little boring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do, but this definitely gives some life to it, which I think is important. Mm-hmm. And it says here, the production reimagines the central romantic pair, traditionally Matt and Louisa, as a same-sex pair, Matt and Louis, reinterpreting the story's allegory of love, longing, and reconciliation through a gay lens. The show's original pair of fathers, who secretly orchestrate the clandestine love affair between their children, will now be mothers. So, I mean, that I feel like that doesn't interest me as much. Like, fathers, mothers, like anybody can.
I'm glad they made them mothers though, because otherwise it's just like 4 dudes, which is fine. But like, I do like that.
I guess I can see that. Yeah, that's a good point.
I do like that dynamic now. I almost feel like they had to change that, and yeah.
I can see what you're saying. Yeah. So I would give it a 3, but I'm definitely intrigued. Okay, so then we have Much Ado About Nothing. This is the Winter Garden Theater. Previews October 31st, opens November 19th, starring Tom Hiddleston and Haley Atwell, writer William Shakespeare, and director Jamie Lloyd. William Shakespeare's witty romantic comedy returns to Broadway in a production that premiered in London in spring 2025. This is my favorite Shakespeare. I mean, Tom Hiddleston, Haley Atwell. I mean, 5 for me. I would definitely, if I can get out there this fall, then I definitely want to see it.
Yeah, and I really love Jamie Lloyd. I saw his Seagull on the West End, and Doll's House is really great. For me, I'm going to say this is a 4.5. Like, I'm really excited about it. And yeah, Much Ado is fantastic.
Yeah. All right, next we have Galileo. This is at the Schubert Theater. First preview November 10th, opening December 6th, starring Raul Esparza, Joy Woods, Jeremy Kushner, writers Zoe Sarnak and Michael Weiner, music and lyrics, and Danny Strong, the book, director Michael Mayer. Musical centered on the historical scientist Galileo Galilei. It premiered at Berkeley Rep in 2024. What do you think?
I love Joy Woods, so I'm excited about this, and I've heard great things about this play. It's not something that I'm like, oh my goodness, I need to run and see that, but I'm intrigued by it. So it's a 4 for me.
Yeah, I mean, I love Joy Woods, but Raul Esparza is a super fan going on here. I love him so much. So I would love to see this. We don't know a ton. I mean, we obviously know the plot, but we don't know a ton else in her. It just says, when scientist Galileo Galilei makes discoveries about the universe, he must defend his work against the church. That's what it says. So, and it says here, the production won 6 2025 San Francisco Bay Area Theater Critics Circle Awards, including Best Production from 16 nominations. So that's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey. So I would give this a 3.
Yeah.
Express my excitement. Okay. Then we have Inter Alia. We have Inter Alia. This is at the Music Box Theater. Previews start November 10th, and it opens December 1st. This stars Rosamund Pike, writer Susie Miller, director Justin Martin, a new drama about a London Crown Court judge who must hold her family together when an unthinkable event rocks their life. It premiered at London's National Theatre in 2025 and transferred to the West End. So, I mean, Rosamund Pike, I'm obviously interested. This did well in London, so you can't be that bad, it can't, although Charlie and the Chocolate Factory did well over there, so you never know for sure, but I just doesn't really excite me that much, but could be good.
It
sounds kind of boring, the plot to me.
I hate to say it, but also yes, I feel that deeply. So for me, it's like a 2, but I'm sure it's going to be a great show. Like, right. There's things that, and this is what's interesting too about, getting to do a theater podcast. Like, there are things that I can say, I know that will be a good show, but it's just not for me.
Right, yeah. Super exciting. Yeah. All right, so then we have Dolly, a true musical. This is at the St. James Theater. First previews start December 7th, and it opens January 19th. So writers Dolly Parton, book, music, and lyrics. I'm not sure how much of it will be original songs and how much it will be her catalog. Because, 9 to 5 had both, for example. So Dolly can write both. It says... mean, it just says here the musical features Parton's hit songs as well as new songs. So, and I don't think this has had it did. It premiered in Nashville in 2025. And so, yeah, I mean, that would be interesting to me to know, like, how much of it is jukebox, how much of it is new.
Yeah.
So, because I don't think we really know right now. But, I love Dolly. Of course, I love Dolly. And she, like I said, has a proven track record of musical theater. Writing. 9 to 5 was a million times better than it had any right to be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to give this a 3, but I definitely am looking forward to it.
Same. I couldn't love Dolly more. She's incredible, not only as a performer, but as a human being. I read with a couple of girls who went in for the younger version of Dolly in this, and, like, the sides and the songs were good, but I'm not actually super excited about it. Like, if Dolly was in it, it would be a different story. And I know all the actors in it are very, like, talented and wonderful. But yeah, it's a 3 for me.
Wow. All right. So then we have Awake and Sing. This is at the Samuel J. Friedman Theater. First preview start December 15th. Opens January 7th. Stars Danny Burstein, Michaela Diamond, Jessica Hecht, Will Pullen, Jeremy Shamos, writer Clifford Odets, director Tyne Raffaele. A revival of Clifford Odets' landmark play about a Depression-era Brooklyn family. So yeah, it's funny. Awake and Sing, and it's not a musical.
Yeah.
But yeah, sounds great.
I think that this is a stacked cast, and look, I'm going to sound like such a bad theater student here. I have not seen Awake and Sing, but I've read it and seen scene work from it. Just not it's not my favorite.
Is it like a play with music or no? None.
No. It's
interesting.
It's interesting. Actually, I don't know where the title comes from, really, but if I'm remembering correctly, because it's been years since I've read it,
it's old. Like the group, it's from and it was initially produced by the Group Theater in 1935.
Yeah. It is like, and you know what? Honestly, like, this is such a great cast, and I probably just haven't been exposed to it in the way that would make me latch on to this.
It says, Odette brings to the table the issues of the importance of appearances in relation to respectability in society. How we appear to society is how we improve and gain status, as well as the contrasting worlds of idealism and realism. Odette also presents the contrasting of materialistic ideals and the importance of money in society. So, yeah, I mean, it's great cast, but I would still probably give it a 2. It doesn't super excite me.
Yeah. I'm not super excited. I think I'd go for 2.5.
We also do have, they just say fall 2026. The revival of Dreamgirls is still on the schedule, but it doesn't have a playhouse. It doesn't have anything. So it's, of course, writers Henry Krieger, Tom Ewan, director Camille A. Brown. They did announce the director. Broadway's first all-new production of the beloved musical will open in fall 2026, and Jennifer Hudson is going to be also producing for it. So that's exciting for her.
Yes, please. Yes.
So I actually... Dreamgirls, of course, iconic, and it has some of the most iconic songs. But man, it's a bit of a slog. Have you ever seen it? The thing is long, and it has all of these songs that are so forgettable amidst all of the great songs. Like, I am hoping that this revival, they at least cut some of it. Like, there's just all of this padding of songs, them as a group. And the drama is not the best. It's just, or at least it's not my favorite. So I'm surprisingly kind of tepid about this, just because I just find the show not the greatest, even though it has its really wonderful parts, and I'm sure it'll still be entertaining. But I'm actually going to give this a 2. So sorry.
Nothing wrong with that. It was just you bracing us for it. You're like,
yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5. just because I have never seen it other than the movie and, of course, like, heard like the heavy hitting songs. So I'm intrigued to see what they do with it, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope that they make some cuts. Let's make it better. Let's make this, like, they've done it before. Like, I hope they do with Dreamgirls what they did with, like, Annie Giger Gun in that, revival. Just making it so much better and cutting the bad songs or the forgettable songs, in my opinion. But anyway, so Off-Broadway, I figured we just quickly talked about the musicals because there's so many plays off-Broadway that I thought that would be a way to kind of narrow it down a little bit. So we are starting with Truly Howard Hughes. This is at the York Theater at St. John's. First preview September 9th. It has a book by Frank Evans, Jennifer Paulson Lee, and James Scully. Music by James Scully. Lyrics Frank Evans and Chad Gorn. Director Jennifer Paulson Lee. And it's Truly Howard Hughes is an unconventional love story following one of the 20th century's most fascinating figures, aviator, filmmaker, businessman, and recluse Howard Hughes. The story unfolds as Hughes revisits his extraordinary life during his final moments, confronting the one thing his power and fortune could never secure, and leaves us with a haunting question: would you if you could? What do you think?
I'm not super interested in a musical about Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
No thanks.
I feel like this is one that could be a big surprise and everyone's talking about it, but just on the surface, not super interested.
Like, and look, this is not to like, I'm sure, yes, an incredible business tycoon, film director, producer, I get all that. But like, I don't need this.
He did have like a crazy life, and so there's a lot to mine from that. There's a lot there, but so it just depends on the music and the style and everything. So we'll see. But yeah, I would give it 2.
I would love to be surprised, but I'm gonna give this a 1.
Okay. Next we have Midnight. This is at the Dale Roth Theater. Preview starts September 12th. Opens September 27th. Book, music, lyrics by Todrick Hall. Director Todrick Hall. And the cast, he's Todrick Hall. It's set in America's South during the 19th century. Midnight is a sweeping story of love, conflict, and the search for understanding. Through its soaring music and powerful drama, Midnight invites audiences to imagine life through another's eyes, offering a universal message. We cannot choose the roles we are given in life, but we can choose how we play them. So this has huge buzz coming out of London. Like, it might be the most buzz of anything this fall to Broadway or off-Broadway. And it looks unbelievable. And I think that this will, if it's as good as everyone's saying, I think this will quickly transfer to Broadway. It'll have, it's run on off-Broadway and then it will be on Broadway quickly. And I'm super excited. 5 for me. This is huge.
This looks incredible. First of all, I love the Dale Roth Theater. It's a great space. And I love how it sounds like that it follows these like 12 characters that are all interconnected, and there's like 6 black characters, 6 white characters, and all these things about like identity and race and empathy. Like, I just think this is going to be so good. And Rachel, I think you're spot on. I definitely think there's like a Broadway run in its future.
Yeah. All right, next up, Slam Frank. This is at the Orpheum Theater. Its previews September 17th, opens October 4th. Book, music, and lyrics by Andrew Fox and Joel Sininsky. Director Sam Lafarge. And it's Did Anne Frank Ever Acknowledge Her White Privilege? Slam Frank imagines what happens when a progressive theater company asks themselves that same question, applying the rules and tropes of progressive theater to the Diary of Anne Frank. Transcending all taste and decency, they transform Anne Frank's true story into an intersectional, multi-ethnic, genderqueer, decolonized, anti-capitalist, hyper-empowering, Afro-Latin hip-hop musical. That's a lot for one sentence. That's a lot. And I mean, Anne Frank was a child. Like, the idea that she had like that was in hiding, and she didn't write her book she wrote it it's just her diary. She didn't write it. Like, the idea that it's I don't know. They're just going to have to really prove some kind of white privilege for Anne Frank, of all people. That seems like, wow, that's a reach. But I guess I haven't seen it. On the surface, I read that and I cringed a lot. And so they would have to win me over, I think.
I've seen this.
Oh, you have? Oh, my gosh.
I have. I saw it, I think, when it was still in previews in this little tiny, yeah. So
it didn't win you over?
No. I think it's ambitious. There are parts of it that I think I understand what they're trying to do, and it's a big swing. I think there's just a lot of stuff in there that feels exciting and interesting to look at it through a different lens. It also feels like there's some problematic stuff happening within it as well. Additionally, and this is just from a storytelling perspective, not the content of it, but the orchestration of it. It felt like it had like 3 endings. Maybe that'll change before it goes to this off-Broadway venue. But yeah, it's a lot to take in. I've only seen it once, and I was like, it was perplexing. And
yeah, I have no interest. I give it a 1.
Yeah.
I'm going
to give it a 1.5.
Especially hearing that. If it didn't win you over.
Did not win me over.
Okay, yeah. We have Soon. This is at the Loft at St. Luke's Theater. First preview September 30th. It opens October 5th. Book, music, and lyrics by Nick Blamer. Director Will Blum. And it's, what do you do with the time you have left? While 20-something Charlie waits for the end of the world, Jonah waits for her to start living. But before time runs out, Charlie must do the hardest thing imaginable, open the front door. Do you have any thoughts about this?
I mean, this just sounds intriguing to me. Even with like not knowing much about this, it makes me go, ooh, interesting. I would say it's a 4 because I love kind of going to off-Broadway shows, not really knowing a ton about them, but knowing enough to like lean forward and be interested. So for me, this feels like a 4.
It says the intimate indie pop chamber musical asks the question, what do you do with the time you have left? And so that sounds intimate indie pop chamber musical. That sounds interesting. And it says the creative team will also include music supervisor Willie DeWeese from Lightning Thief and music director Andy Kulapi, also from Lightning Thief. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd give it a 3.
Yeah, intriguing. Yeah. Like, okay.
Right. It is Memoirs of Amorous Gentleman. This is the Culture Club. First preview September 25th. It opens October 15th. Book Leah Nyananko Winkler. Music and lyrics Duncan Sheik. Director Rob Ashford. And it's at the Night Egg, a humble Paris Mason close. Colette would do anything to fulfill her client's desires, but when asked to write her own story, her words transform her from the observed to an observer as the young dreamer turns perversions into art, chronicling the fantasies, confessions, and private sorrows of friends, customers. She becomes torn between her destructive attachment to a toxic love and her blossoming independence. What do you think?
Okay. Yes. I think that this sounds intriguing, different. Robert Ashford is a great director. Duncan Sheik, like incredible artist.
Yeah.
I'm interested in this. I would say this is a 4 for me.
Based on the manga graphic novel, evidently, is what it's based on. It sounds intriguing. I'll give it a 4. Okay, next we have Copperfield, the new musical. Well, this is The Duke on 42nd Street, starts preview September 29th and opens October 19th. Book, music, and lyrics by Jeffrey Scharf, director Gabriel Bear. And it's adapted from Charles Dickens' favorite and most autobiographical novel, Copperfield. The new musical follows David's life. As a child, David endures the sadism of his stepfather, Murdstone, the depredations of the villainous schoolmaster, Creakle, and the mind-numbing routine of a London sweatshop. As an adult, he is visited by happiness and success, tragedy and loss. Along the way, he meets some of Dickens' most memorable characters, his formidable Aunt Betsy, the seafaring Peggotty family, the grandiloquent Mr. Micawber, and the contemptible Uriah Heep. So I do love me a period piece. This one, I think, will really depend on the quality of the songs, I think, will. Because, I mean, obviously, I got all those characters. It's a classic story. So I think I think this will really live and breathe on how good these songs are.
Yeah, I agree. To me, with only knowing what I know, it's a 3, but that could easily be bumped up to a 4.5 if I hear a song and I'm like, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, that's what I would give it also. Okay, so then we have The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. And this is the Public Theater, the Newman Theater, first preview October 8th, opens October 21st. Book and lyrics by Jethro Compton, music and lyrics by Darren Clark, director Jethro Compton. And it's Olivier award-winning writing team Jethro Compton and Darren Clark reimagine F. Scott Fitzgerald's iconic story of an old man who is not at the end of his life, but at the beginning, set in a Cornish fishing village on the coast of Great Britain and brought to life by a company of 15 actor-musicians. This is the magical tale of a love that defies all odds. So I heard pretty good things coming out of this, out of London. That seemed like people liked it pretty well. It wasn't like as hyped as the Paddington, which we'll preview next. That doesn't come until next year. I still probably give it a 2.
For me, this is a 3.5 because much like Once, the musical, I love the actor-musician of it all. Like, I think that intrigues me more than the story itself. But yeah, for right now, it's a 3.5. I could be intrigued further the more I find out about it. Or less if I'm like, not a song that I don't love.
Yeah, so there's just a couple more real quick to go over. So In the Heights, this is New York City Center. This is October 28th. And it's book by Garia Hudes and music and lyrics by, of course, Lin-Manuel Miranda, director David Menzabal. During the span of 3 hot July days in Washington Heights, bodega owner Usnavi and his neighbors strive for the American dream while holding on to the Paciencia y Fe. Together, this vibrant multi-generational community navigates the meaning of home in a rapidly changing neighborhood while celebrating with enough energy to light up the George Washington Bridge. So we've seen a lot of city center transfers over to Broadway over the years. This is their concert type series. Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely get a ticket if I could.
Definitely. I love In the Heights, and I think it's so fun.
The Heart, this is the Roundabout Theater Company, Laura Pell's Theater. First preview October 8th. It opens October 29th. Book and additional lyrics by Kate Kerrigan, music and lyrics Anne Eisendrath and Ian Eisendrath. Director Christopher Ashley, and this stars Heidi Blickenstaff, so that's cool. That's great. A young surfer's life is cut short. A stranger suddenly has a second chance, and the life force of one beating heart drives 2 families and a medical team through 24 hours that couldn't matter more. What do you think?
5. This story sounds incredible. Even without Heidi, it would be a 5 for me. But I love Heidi. 100% this is a 5 for me. I can't.
Yeah, so this is based on a French novel. And the musical had its world premiere at the La Jolla Playhouse and will transfer off Broadway. And so it's had a successful premiere at La Jolla, so with Heidi. So yeah, it sounds very, very intriguing and good. I actually have one more. Let's do real quick. Okay, so we have The Imitation of Life, and this is This is at the Shed. It opens November 21st. A book by Lynn Nottage, music and lyrics by John Legend, and director Whitney White. Across the neon rush of 1920s Atlantic City and the harder edges of 1930s New York, two single mothers, one black, one white, and their daughters build a life together, chasing success and love by very different rules. Their stories ask what we sacrifice to be seen and what we pass down to the ones who come after us. What do you think?
I mean, I love The Shed, and I love Whitney White, and this story sounds awesome. This is a definite 5 for me. The Shed is such a cool space, and look, John Legend is great, but he's got nothing on Whitney White. But I'm really excited to see, this sounds totally unique, but a story that is also, like, familiar in that beautiful way about what it takes, like, to be a mom, to lead a family. Like, I think this sounds fantastic.
Based on Fannie Hurst's 1933 novel and the 1934 and 59 Universal Pictures films of the same title. And then it's this black mother and a white mother both struggling to raise their daughters in a world shaped by inequality set against the backdrop of the 1920s Atlantic City. While the novel's narrative is very much a product of its time, its themes of race, class, and gender in America continue to resonate today. As artists, we are drawn to imitation of life's enduring emotional power and its potential to be reimagined in ways that feel contemporary and urgent. I would give this a 4.
I want to see it so bad.
Yeah. So there we go. We did it. That's everything as far as musicals off Broadway and everything coming to Broadway this fall. So let us know what you're excited for. If you know more about any of these productions that you want to talk about in comments, we'd love to hear that. We'd love to learn. And because we're just going off of Playbill and, what we can find online. So if you know more, please share. And this was so much fun. And Jax, where can people find you?
Jacqueline Collier on Instagram.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews all over the place and rachelsreviewstheater.com. So check that out. Also make sure you're following OnStage Blog all over the place. And they have daily articles. And you can even read, there's an article by Chris on his most anticipated for this 2026-2027 season. So you definitely want to check that out. And they have such good discussions on the Facebook and everything. So you definitely want to be following that. And if you listen to this on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We sure appreciate that. Check out our playlist with all of our episodes that we've done over the years. We would really appreciate that. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.